Life Balance on Afternoons with Helen Farmer.
Is your job a source of happiness or a source of stress? One company that's in the finance industry knows just how stressful work can be. So to mark International Yoga Day, they have created a yoga initiative. It is tomorrow for their entire organisation, so about 300 employees. Joining us now is Devesh Mamtani, the Chief Market Strategist at Century Financial, and Darshan Kabria, the CTO, the Chief Technology Officer as well. Great to have you with us. Now, Darshan, I'm curious, where did this come from? Who has decided to incorporate yoga within the company?
Well, it is our CEO Balkrishan who started this. While I joined Century a year back, and I started with my yoga journey 2 years back. And when I joined Century, I was like, well, and you're coming back to office. Mm-hmm. So I was like, will I get to yoga, continue my yoga routine or no? And I was so pleased, happy to see that, here's a CEO who, right from the top, encouraging us to do yoga and, kind of take this up, take up the activity. So and not just yoga, and it's just all sports activities as well as, and wellness as a whole.
So your CEO is a big yoga enthusiast, and has he seen kind of, I don't know, I guess benefits of yoga in his own career, his own life?
Yes, he's seen benefits from yoga in his career. I mean, we've lived through uncertain times as well as so many distractions at work, definitely. And I hear from him that yoga helped him at every phase of his career, mm-hmm. as well as to deal with the things at work as well as personal life.
We know how stressful the finance industry is, so I think that's really fascinating, to be honest, to have that openness about it. And Devesh, when your CEO, Mr. Krishnan, decided to kind of incorporate it in the workplace, how was it first broached? And I guess what happened? Did a teacher come in? Was an office cleared out? Can you explain what happened?
So interestingly, we moved into a new office in 2019. At the outset, he made a room called Shenzhen. The idea of that room was, if you were stressed and you wanted to relax, just go and do meditation for half an hour, 20 minutes, and come back. So and that's at the entrance. So he just kept a marker that, you got to do this first and then look at other things. Wow. In fact, previously on one of the yoga days, he did a headstand, he did a handstand to show all of us things he could do. He actually went all Spider-Man on us. So we looked at him all embarrassed, saying, okay, I probably can't do that. I'll go with the breathing one. Those would be better.
Sit and do some pranayama instead. Thanks very much. So, Devesh, had you done any yoga then before this was incorporated into the company?
I actually used to do yoga. I started, I think, it's been on and off for me. I started in 2008. My mother used to do it. She did one of these courses where she became a trainer too. Mm-hmm. And once she was a yogi, I think I had no choice to not do it. So, yeah. And then some of those ideas then our CEO, because it's a very top-down thing, mm-hmm. he and completely about wellness, knowing that we all are stressed at work. In fact, like when stock markets are difficult or when times are difficult, the first thing he asks us to do is go breathe, so that you do not feel worried or do not do anything which you should not do. Mm-hmm. So it's
really kind of that. I think that's an amazing example to be setting, to be honest, in terms of center yourself so you're able to respond rather than react to, well, as you're saying, kind of market conditions or an email. And can I ask you then, Darshan, what was the initial response like? It's quite unusual for a CEO to be demonstrating headstands and saying, this is going to be part of our work life, especially on tomorrow when it is International Yoga Day. What was the response like?
I think initially people were hesitant and were like, like some of those HR activities sometimes you just do for the sake of it, but then the employees started liking it and kind of enjoying it, and you could see some visible difference in the way they were handling things or maybe responding to certain stressful situations. So yeah, I mean, we started with classes on a weekly basis. So like someone was doing it, and you could join those guys for a session or for a quick session. And as Devesh said, that there is a room which is like dedicated for that, you know. So yeah, habit forming that way.
And I love my colleagues dearly, but there are some people that I don't want to see doing a downward dog. Genuinely, I'm not going to name names. But so is this compulsory then, or could you be like, do you know what, this isn't for me. You get your on. I'm all right. So yeah, Darshan, is it compulsory, or is it really just a kind of an option?
I mean, it started to nudge everyone. We made it compulsory, but then it slowly became optional. But those who want to continue, and we're glad that some people want to continue the activity and kind of take it up.
You mentioned, Devesh, there's, I guess, kind of, this isn't just one thing. I guess it's a kind of an attitude towards wellness in general. What other activities have been incorporated?
So firstly, I'll get back to the downward dog thing. I wouldn't want to see Darshan do that, and yeah. So what happened, actually, I'll tell you, when we started in 2019, we would do Yoga Tuesdays. So we had Fruity Mondays, Yoga Tuesdays, Dance Thursdays, Wellness Wednesdays, and Funky Fridays. So you do an activity every day more around wellness, sustainability, so that we as a group would feel more happier. That is the idea. Get to our young roots. When you're a kid, most things make you happy. So we had a laughter. So it started with the laughter yoga instructor coming in and doing a laughter activity. So I think what helped is because the major part of it, we started with breathings, and by the time we reached the downward dogs, that happened over Zoom. So everyone was very comfortable.
Camera off.
Yeah, camera off. And no one's looking at you with 150 people. Zoom and its restrictions, you couldn't see more than, and you just pin it to the instructor. So yeah, the good thing about this is your instructor also couldn't pinpoint saying that you're doing it wrong, because he probably wouldn't have a chance to look at everyone.
That's my dream. It's completely anonymous yoga. I think in honesty, it's actually one of the big criticisms, I guess, when it comes to kind of looking after your employees. It's like, okay, well, you're going to get a free pizza on a Thursday afternoon. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing better to my mind some days than free pizza. But I guess what you're doing is more than that. It's talking about emotional wellness and nutrition and laughter yoga. And I think in honesty, if there is a general awareness in a company of mental health, of wellness, work-life balance, it makes it easier if someone is struggling with any of those issues to perhaps come forward to have a conversation with someone who's seen to them or in HR, and perhaps get any help that they might need, or know that there's a level of understanding in that company. I think especially in the finance industry, which can be quite, as I said, stressful, testosterone driven, reactive. This is unusual, especially in this part of the world as well. Can I ask you, Devesh, what's tomorrow going to look like? Can you explain a little bit about what's going to be happening there in Century Financial on International Yoga Day?
So we'll have a lot of people, our staff, around 150 plus up to 300 in different parts of the company, in different offices. There'll be several TVs showing a yoga expert who's coming in, especially for tomorrow. The yoga expert will make us probably do a lot of breathing, then followed by the downward dogs, and I think now there'll be no out. Everyone will have to look at each other. And so it'll be a completely physical driven yoga activity where everyone will have to participate, at least on the breathings and some of the standing ones, with given some space constraints. So it will be a very important hour in terms of it's that break that probably everyone requires, and we want to set an example, or want to set the next year up saying that, okay, you can deal with stuff differently, and if you focus on the right things, that will be great. markets are stressful. I heard before that crypto has lost a lot of value, 70% since last year. So a lot of such information keeps coming in. At these times, the most important thing probably is to relax, take a step back, see the entire picture and react better. So as you said, instead of being reactive, at least know what you're doing rather than panicking.
So breathing through the Bitcoin roller coaster. Guys, thank you so much. Enjoy tomorrow. Really wonderful to hear about companies doing things differently, doing things better. Happy International Yoga Day. And all the very best to Mr. Balkrishnan, who sounds like he's going to be, well, head over heels maybe, doing some handstands tomorrow. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good one
you very much.
indeed.